This is the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose, where I strategize with business owners on how to grow and scale their businesses to hit their income goals. This is episode 163 of the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose. Today, we're going to be talking about how to create an online course, and my guest is Len Marketian from Podia. Now, you're going to hear us talk a little bit about this, but I am super excited because Len is going to be attending Influencer Entrepreneurs Academy here in Charlotte and March 31st through April 2nd. Podia is one of our sponsors for the event, and he will be presenting and diving even deeper into how you can be monetizing greater with an online digital course. So I hope that you already have your ticket, but if you do not, I would like to offer you $100 off a ticket right now by using the code KINDNESS. If you hop over to the show notes, I will make sure to have it linked right there for you, but we'd love to have you in person at the event so that you can continue to grow your business and start to really diversify your income. All right, you guys, let's dive into this conversation. Hi, Len. How are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing well, Jenny. Thanks so much for having me. How are you?
Very good. Thank you. I am so excited to get to talk to you. As I said a little bit in the intro, you are part of Influencer Entrepreneurs Academy this year, which I'm super excited to have you guys there with us. Before we really dive into a ton of it, though, would you explain a little bit about yourself and Podia?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Len Marketian. I am a course creator. I'm a marketer. And I'm also the chief marketing officer at a company called Podia. It's a platform for creative entrepreneurs to host and sell online courses, digital downloads, memberships. We put everything into one product, make life really easy for creators. And we're stoked to be a part of the community this year.
Yes. No, I'm so excited to have you guys. And as many of my people know, my students currently, I have made the switch and I'm loving everything about Podia. Before we get into that side of things, though, let's talk about why an online course. Because I think as my audience, there's influencers, there's bloggers, there's some small business owners, and they're trying to figure out different ways to monetize. Mm-hmm. So why would an online course be a good idea?
I love this question. So an online course, or what I love about online courses, I think we all have something to teach. And so many of us are looking for ways to monetize that knowledge. And especially, you mentioned influencers and bloggers and small business owners. We give a lot of our knowledge away for free. And then we try to grow our business with sponsorships, with affiliate partners, with promotional posts, with ads, with all these channels that put these third parties between the creator and their audience. And don't get me wrong, these can be really great ways to earn money, grow a business. And when they're done thoughtfully, they can be a huge win-win for everybody involved. But what I love about online courses, they're unique in that you're monetizing your work by selling something that you made directly to your audience. Rather than putting anybody between you and your audience, a course actually deepens your relationship with the people who buy from you because it's something of value that they're getting directly from you that you made. That's why I love courses.
Yes. And I think that I love the way that you talked about we all have something to teach, because I think that that's a piece that we sometimes miss, is that we feel like, well, I'm not an expert, right? That imposter syndrome totally creeps up a lot of times. But we all are experts in something, and you don't have to be the top-notch expert of Tony Robbins or Amy Porterfield. You just have to be an expert a little bit more than who your audience is. And if you notice that they're coming to you with those types of questions, being able to answer those types of questions for them. So who do you feel could benefit from creating an online course?
I think anybody, and just to keep coming back to this, I think anybody with something to teach. And I love that you said, that you don't have to be the top expert in your field. And that's so true, is that we all think, oh, who would want to listen to us? Who would want, to buy a course from me? But here's the thing. I mean, everybody has challenges. Everybody has problems. Not everybody is willing to put even 2 hours or 3 hours of work into figuring out what the solution to those problems are, and doing the guess and check method and scrolling through Google results. And so even just by doing that, you've become more of an expert on whatever problem you're solving than 99% of the population. And so whether you are looking to grow an online business, looking to bring in leads for an existing business, like a service business, or if you're just looking to solidify your expertise by taking on the challenge of teaching what you know, and courses are great. And they were a $4 billion industry last year. And they're expected to be a $25 billion industry by 2025. And there's a reason for that. Creators love them. Yeah, creators love them. Customers love them. And yeah, they're a win-win for everybody involved.
I think it makes so much sense now with the way that the digital age is that you can be a beauty blogger and not even beauty blogger. Let's say you're a makeup artist in the wedding industry. You do everything in person, but the problem becomes you hit a ceiling because you can't be in so many different places and you're taking up that time. So by having a course that now teaches maybe not even wedding beauty, but does everyday beauty for like going out or whatever it might be, that gives you an opportunity now to be able to see your income just rise. And I think with the way that YouTube has exploded and the way that we're used to consuming information now, it just makes it, our audiences are ready for this. They're ready for the step-by-step of like, how do you go about doing something and consuming content that way? So I think it's great. You're absolutely right that when it comes to different people, I can think of clients that I have. I have a real estate agent right now that is getting ready to create a digital course on how to sell houses via Instagram. She's selling $500,000 houses from Instagram. It's crazy.
Wow.
But she's creating a course for real estate agents that now will teach them how to do this. I have a nutritionist that's looking to do a course that her business is primarily based in person, service-based, but she's looking to create that course so that it does have that opportunity to not go beyond that ceiling that in-person services often limit you to. So that definitely, for me, I think that there's so many industries that you don't necessarily, style, just so many different routes that you could take it. And I can totally see that 25 billion expectation for this year. Seems easily to be able to hit.
It's interesting to hear. I love hearing you run through all those different use cases because we see the same thing. And we see everybody from people teaching marketing to people teaching rooftop gardening to people teaching, Depression era recipes, like everything on the planet. There's something that for absolutely everything on the planet, there's somebody who wants to learn that thing.
Yes, absolutely. And especially if they have that audience built in, they already have it there. They're asking for it. You just have to go through and create the components that then go into it. So let's talk a little bit about that. What do you feel are the key components of an online digital course?
Well, so this is going to sound like I'm oversimplifying it, but the two key components as I see them are a problem and a solution. And that problem might be not knowing how to sell houses. That problem might be that you're not selling enough houses. That problem might be not knowing what you're supposed to do, nutritionally to be healthy and feel great. It might be that you were never taught how to do everyday makeup and you don't feel confident with it. So it starts with a problem. And whatever that problem is that you're solving, people, that's where your course starts. And from there, all an online course is a roadmap to solving that problem for your customers. Just mapping out the steps that your customer needs to take to achieve that solution. And that's your course. And there are different ways to do that. There are, I think the common ways to do that would be video modules, worksheets, audio files, or even text. And I've seen all of these formats be successful, actually. We've seen courses sell very, very well using all four of those formats. But what's important there is just playing to your strengths. If you are a designer, then design. If you are a talker, then talk. And if you're a writer, then write. And especially if this is your first course, I would keep it simple. Focus on the content, that is just making sure that you're delivering a solution, and get it out the door.
Yes. And I think to go hand in hand with that, you also want to ask your people, ask your audience. They're coming to you with a problem that they need a solution for, but you also need to know, as a former teacher, I need to know, how do you learn? How do you want the material? I'm very good at talking. That's why I have a podcast. I enjoy that side of things. So for me, that's also the way that I consume content. I want to listen to it. I don't need to see it. I just need to listen to it. But I actually went back after having my course course for 3 years. My signature course was Pitch Perfect Pro. Went to the students that I already have who have already purchased and said, how do you learn? Like, what am I missing in this? And it was consistent. We want to be able to read it so that if it's an 8-minute video, I can pop to the part in the transcript where you talked about that solution for the specific problem that I had in that module. So that information was so valuable for me to understand that they needed that extra step that I, as a learner, didn't, but being able to provide them with that is so important. So I think really talking to your audience and finding out what they need, what do they want, and then they become they want to be part of it then because they helped create it, really.
It's amazing how many of those answers are just right in front of us.
Yes, no, absolutely. So now let's talk a little bit about the tech side of Podia and how you guys help create online courses.
Sure. A lot of people are scared of the tech, and they're not unjustified. I mean, when I first created my course, my first course, this would have been probably 9 years ago, I needed to find a platform to host the text content. I needed to find a platform to host the video content. I needed a separate plugin to manage the payments. I needed a separate plugin for restricting access and managing passwords. I think I needed a separate app for email marketing, a separate product for the sales page, and on and on and on. And of course, I've seen a lot of these businesses too that come to us, before they switch to Podia. And of course, the whole thing is just held together with duct tape and hope, right? And it breaks all the time. No app talks to the other apps like they're supposed to, and it's just a mess. But things are very, very different now. And you can now have all of those features in a single product. Obviously, my platform of choice is Podia. We put everything in one place so that you only have to think about using one simple tool. And that's where all of your products, all of your data, all of your customers, your emails, your payments, everything lives inside Podia. And that's how we make the tech side of things easier.
Yes. And that was when we talked and you were talking to me about, well, why would making the switch? And I was concerned because after having a course for 3 years, multiple courses, a membership site, tons of content, and a decent amount of students, over 1,000 students that were inside, I was very nervous. Plus, I don't like change. So it was hard for me. But you said to me, is everything taped together with duct tape? That's stuck in my mind. And we weren't even doing a video call that time. We were on the phone. And I'm like shaking my head furiously. Absolutely. Everything is duct taped together in tiny little pieces. And if something doesn't work, I'm not even going to know that someone came into the course and that they don't have email that's going to let them into it. So that was a huge selling point for me because it is. You don't have to have landing pages and sales pages and an affiliate portal, and email, everything. And you still have a lot of the connections inside. So in other words, I didn't want to give up ConvertKit. That wasn't something that I was willing to give up for my email just because I love the way that it is segmented. I put so much effort into doing all my funnels. You have that connection where I don't need to use a Zap in order to connect it, which is what I had been doing.
Yeah. And then we have a lot of creators who prefer to use their email platform of choice, who prefer to use different software platforms that they've just loved for years and years and years. And we found that making it easier for people to use the products that they already love along with Podia just gives a lot more confidence than saying, okay, no, sorry, you're going to have to go and figure out how to make these things talk to each other on their own.
Right. No, absolutely. So let's talk about a little bit about the features of Podia, because it's not just for online courses, which is what I was very excited about, because I also have a membership site, which I was using through my old software, but it was so clunky. It's so terrible. So that's one of the features that Podia has, is the membership site. What else are you able to do?
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned memberships, because that's something that many course creators want to add to their business, because it means recurring revenue, and it's just a great way to it's a great way to deliver continuing value to people after they finish a course. And again, most of the time, that means for a course creator adding a separate tool if you're not already using an all-in-one platform. If you're using most course platforms, their membership their quote unquote membership feature tends to be lacking. So what most creators end up doing is having to add a totally separate tool. So already you're streamlining down from two tools into one. We also have our full email marketing platform. We have a website builder, so you can host your site and all of your landing pages there. We have an affiliate platform, like you mentioned. It's built in, so you can manage all of your affiliates there. And we just launched live chat as well. We noticed a lot of creators adding live chat widgets to their Podia sites, and so we built our own, and we include that in all of our plans. The idea is just that everything that you need to run your digital product business is quote unquote in the box.
Yes. And the other piece for me was that I often do bundles of my courses. Like, for example, my Pitch Perfect Pro, which is signature, comes with a couple of bonuses, which were already loaded in. And I was able to easily bundle them together so that people could come in at different levels. I was also able to bundle my membership site with it. And you have a spot for digital downloads too, because I know for some people, they're doing ebooks or they're doing planners or something of that nature where they need the actual digital download, and you have that feature as well. Is that right?
It is, yeah. And the beauty of having it all in one is that your customers have a single login. They can access your membership, they can access your courses, your downloads, your bundles, anything that you want to give them access to. They don't have to have a separate login. You don't have to manage multiple logins. And yeah, because it's all in one, it all kind of works beautifully together. When you create a membership plan, you can easily just one click, as you know, add a course to it or add a digital download to it or add a bundle to it. When you put together a bundle, it's just a couple of clicks to add any courses, any downloads that you want to it.
Yes. Now, what are the best ways to reach out to Podia if somebody wanted to switch, or even if they wanted to just come on and they're just starting their online course?
Sure. So we have live chat support. It's available 7 days a week on our site. You can just head over there, talk to our amazing support team. There's a little widget on the bottom right of the screen. Just pop that open, chat with our support team. You can also email hello@podia.com, and we have support 7 days a week there as well. And if you're just starting out, I recommend starting with, if you're just building your first course, we have some amazing resources on podia.com/blog, and we have our podia.com/YouTube with lots of videos. And if you are looking to switch, we also offer hassle-free migrations. We'll do it all for you. I know that a lot of people are scared about switching, and we're happy to handle the entire migration process for you. Just reach out to our support team, and they'll send you all the details.
And that was where I came in, because like I said, again, a ton of content was already out for me. And that was one of my biggest kind of concerns, was making that switch. And I think I sent it over. Can we move this within probably, I don't want to give expectations, but I literally think it was within 10 minutes and everything was moved over. And I was like, oh, that's easy. Okay.
Yeah, we try to make it feel as much like magic as possible.
Yes. And I think too, you guys with your customer support have been amazing. That's one of the things for me, is because in other platforms, they're a little bit more delayed. And I think you have been great about staying up to date with any concerns that have arisen and answering my questions when I'm not sure of how to do something, which definitely happens for someone that's not tech savvy, because when I first uploaded my first video, I reached out to my project manager and was like, how do I drop and drag? She kind of giggled at me and was like, honey, you've been online for 10 years. You know how to drag. But you guys have so many resources, and you make everything just so simple in order to move over to it. So
well, thank you. I'm happy that you took notice of that. I mean, it's something that we know. It's, as course creators ourselves, we know it can be stressful. We know it can be hard, and especially, you're in the middle of a launch and you've got all these emails that are going out, and you have all these different things that you're worried about, and everything riding on everything going right this week. And if you have a question or something goes wrong, you don't want to wait 2 days for a response. That's why we invest so much into customer support.
Yes. No, absolutely. So right now you guys are offering a 14-day free trial and 15% off for life. So what we have done is we're putting it into the show notes so that you guys can link over to that. If you're listening in, I don't want you and you're driving, do not pull over and try to do this right now. Make sure you just hop over to the show notes, and we are going to have that. And if you are heading to Influencer Entrepreneurs Academy in Charlotte, please make sure, Len, you're going to be there because you are presenting. You're actually talking more in depth about digital courses. So make sure to come up and introduce yourself to Len and have any of your questions answered right in person.
Yes, excited. And make sure you go through that link, because that 15% offer is only for this community. So it's just a special offer for folks who are listening to this podcast, coming to the event. I'm super excited to hopefully meet as many of you there as possible.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Len, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I look forward to having you at Influencer Entrepreneurs Academy. And thank you.
Likewise. Thanks so much, Jenny.
All right. Well, there you have it. Clearly, I am a big believer in Podia. Making the switch was not something that I took lightly, as many of you heard me say multiple times in this episode. I hate change. I'm not a fan of it at all. I will avoid it as much as possible. And I'm also not very tech savvy. So the fact that Podia made it super simple to make the move, and I'm not technically challenged and doesn't make it even more difficult, was a huge advantage for me. So I hope that you got a ton of value out of this. If you are not already and haven't grabbed your ticket to Influencer Entrepreneurs Academy here in Charlotte, make sure that you do hop into the show notes. We're giving you $100 off ticket prices right now. And if you haven't already left a review on iTunes, I would so appreciate it if you took the time to do it. All right, you guys, I will talk to you all soon.